President Trump.
I yield back. Gentleman's time has expired. Ms. Ross.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to enter into the record an article by Han de Haas entitled "Border Crackdowns Won't Solve America's Immigration Crisis" that was published in the Wall Street Journal last week.
Without objection.
In this article, which I commend to everyone who's here and anybody who's watching, de Haas highlights the economic drivers of immigration on our side of the border that are often are ignored in these policy discussions. The reality is that our economy needs more workers. And in this intense labor market, that drives immigration. I hear this from employers in my own district in the Research Triangle of North Carolina. They are begging for legal pathways to hire more workers. And we've heard this for the last 2 days in Washington, D.C. from the Business Roundtable. Migrants accept the cost and risk of journeying to the United States because they understand that their labor is in demand here and that employment will be easy to come by. In fact, de Haas makes the point that immigration restrictions actually lead workers who might move to the U.S. temporarily for seasonal work to stay, since their opportunities to come and go are severely limited. Because of the militarization of the border, we no longer have the labor flow that we used to have. Instead, we have a population of migrant workers living in the United States year-round. And we have perverse policies like deporting kids who have come here legally with their parents, who age out of our immigration system because they simply cannot get a visa to stay because the lines are so long. More than 200,000 documented dreamers. I have a bipartisan bill that has passed this House twice to give them at least the ability to stay here, contribute their talents, and be with their families, not be deported to a place that they didn't know. And they, Mr. Chairman, came here legally. If Republicans were serious about solving the border crisis, they would crack down on the economic drivers of migration in this country. Mr. Reichlin-Melnick, do we need to expand employment and family-based immigration?
Absolutely. We haven't touched those laws in 33 years.
And can you discuss how the creation of additional legal pathways can impact the numbers we're seeing at the border?
There are a lot of people who are coming today who would like to come here legally, but no pathways exist. And I think the best example to demonstrate this is what the Biden admin has done with Haitian migrants. About no Haitian migrants, virtually none, are crossing the border illegally now. And that's because the Biden admin has expanded legal pathways through them for parole. But those pathways are narrow, not applicable to everybody, and fragile. And without Congress stepping in, that success could be reversed overnight.
Especially with what's going on in Haiti as we speak. What additional legal pathways should Congress think about creating?
Not just temporary guest worker programs that would let people come, but also ways for people to come here more permanently and be here with friends and families. People should not have to wait 80 years to get a visa, but there are people today, Indian nationals in particular, who are. And you see this, people who would normally have come here on visas who say, the legal immigration system just is not available to me. The only thing I think I can do, people will sell me on, is coming to the border. And that is not how the system should function.
And would the expansion of legal pathways lead to a more orderly and safe process at the border? And if so, why?
Yes, by addressing this issue in a comprehensive way, we have to look beyond just the lens of what is happening exactly at the border. We have to look at what's happening in our legal immigration system, and we have to look at what's happening globally. If all we do is pay attention to the border and don't think about all these other broken parts of our system, we're just going to find ourselves here again 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now.
Thank you. And Mr. Chairman, I just want to share with people, before I came back to Washington, I went to the annual farm breakfast that we have with our farming community in North Carolina. All across North Carolina they came. #1 issue was having more legal pathways for people who work in the agriculture business in North Carolina, which is the #1 industry in North Carolina. I represent the high-tech, medical industries. They want the skilled workers, the H-1B workers, but the farm industry, #1 issue, immigration. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
Gentlelady's time has expired. Mr. Moore.
Mr. Homan, 2020, we had